Welcome to part two of my presentation. Again, my apology for not being available online due to lack of power availability and bandwidth. I recorded this session into our virtual room so I can share that as a broadcast service and you can share in this matter with us. As I was explaining in the early part of our presentation about the uh, history, a little briefing on it, and a little usage of the technology on artificial intelligence and how I have become involved with this process. My career led me into designing back in early 90s the first artificial intelligence practice management, medical record, banking, account receivable, patient record management systems. And everything was automated. Everything was moving with just a swipe of a barcode, and everything would be managed. And we were able to accommodate large practices such as USC with 3,000 chairs at the School of Dentistry to large hospitals like King Faisal and Saudi German hospitals, where we increased their daily visit from 250 patients to thousands. So we now have spent a lot of time, especially in my career, in the area of AI with the video algorithms. In the last 18 years, I have been working with video compressions, methodologies, protocols, codecs, bit rates, uh, delivering seamlessly without any kind of apps. And one of the definitions that you see is this technology, what we call digital media room. DMR is really actually is designed that it can follow you technically. And the general idea is that people can add their own technologies as integrators. So developers can have a springboard that they can start from, and then we can build this. As a result of this, again, I would like to share some video with this so we can move forward.
And so in the future, when you walk into a room, you will mentally command the internet. You'll take dictation mentally. You'll turn things on, turn things off, communicate with other people. People will think of you as a wizard of some sort mentally.
And now we are deploying these services that he's talking about in the future now in this room. And that's one of the reasons this room will have its own vocabulary, its own language, its own translators, its own participations, and many other tools and features that it makes collaboration and broadcasting services easy. But this becomes a subset of smart cities because when you work with IoE and so forth, then you're going to have to look at how can you help the traffic, how can you cut carbon footprints, how can you improve communications, provide real-time services where all of these right now are congested. For example, going to a city hall and trying to get a permit becomes a time-consuming process. Questions have to be answered, records have to be examined, so therefore there are always lines. Avoiding that line through this kind of technology, we can bring all of those passes together. So again, to carry on with the conversation.
Communicating with everything around you. That's BrainNet. And then biotech is being digitized now. We can create a human body shop. We can create from your own cells, so there's no rejection mechanism. We can create skin, bone, cartilage, noses, ears, blood vessels, heart valves, bladders. Complete windpipes can be grown in the laboratory. The next organ to be grown, by the way, is the liver. So for all you alcoholics in the audience, take heart. We may be able to grow your next liver.
Without taking a lot of time, there are other subjects in here that we have put in the room and we can share that with you. But one of the key elements is some of these leaders, they also talk about the fear of being used something that you don't want to be used. For instance, when we come here and we do this.
Your kids probably have one of these, right? Not quite. Hello, pilot? No. That skill is all AI. It's flying itself. Its processor can react 100 times faster than a human. The just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of sheep explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the contents. That is an airstrike of surgical precision. It's one of a range of products. Trained.
So this is one example. Another example is where you can create fake news by just having somebody talk and moving their mouth.
Photoshop image, but what about when artificial intelligence is making the face? Software can already be used to control someone's facial expressions in a video. This program called Face-to-Face uses neural networks to imitate faces, turning people into virtual puppets. Add fake audio and you can have a polished...
So as you can see, there are different areas where humanity can take this to the dark side, to the military use, to the applications where us as colleagues in the science community trying to avoid that kind of process, but it's happening. So that is one of the reasons. Another one that it's worth mentioning is by Ted, that this gentleman can tell you a little bit about his experience.
The rise of the machines. Who here is scared of killer robots?
And he's the guy who designs
I
it.
am. I used to work in UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, and all I could think seeing these things is that someday somebody is going to strap a machine gun to these things and they're going to hunt me down in swarms. I work in robotics at Brown University, and I'm scared of robots. Actually, I'm kind of terrified. But can you blame me? Ever since I was a kid, all I've seen are movies that portray the ascendance of artificial intelligence and our inevitable conflict with it. 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Terminator, The Matrix, and the stories they tell are pretty scary. Rogue bands of humans running away from super intelligent machines. That scares me. From the hands, it seems like it scares you as well. I know it is scary to Elon Musk. But, you know, we have a little bit of time before the robots rise up. Robots like the PR2 that I have in my initiative, they can't even open the door yet. So in my mind, this discussion of super intelligent robots is a little bit of a distraction from something far more insidious that is going on with AI systems across the country. You see, right now, there are people, doctors, judges, accountants, who are getting information from an AI system and treating it as if it was information from a trusted colleague. It's this trust that bothers me. Not because of how often AI gets it wrong. AI researchers pride themselves in accuracy on results.
And that is where you have to start not thinking of blockchain, okay? Because trust matters. And if you don't build based on blockchain, the trust factor that our colleague talks about, then I can become an imposter from the point of inception, and I can create a series of illusion results from the ICO, from the cryptocurrency to all kinds of variation and so forth, that I can become completely negative destructive. So this kind of issue becomes extremely, again, important, where we are getting into the era where we are relying, or we intend to rely on the algorithms and the knowledge. And knowledge engineering, it's a process because it is not something new. But knowledge engineering is either you have to follow an old model like IBM Watson's, who's been around for decades, and they keep polishing it and polishing it and polishing it, but it runs on old engine. or move into a next paradox of quantum computing and work with qubits and building different protocol and languages that is not even being dreamed of. This kind of process right now is a journey that we are taking into artificial intelligence. And we want to make sure that the colleagues like yourself, that you're engaged in the academia, in the real world, or maybe crossing over from a graduation to come into the business world and understanding from the use and application of artificial intelligence to smart cities, that you need to look at the most difficult and challenges and mundane problems. And these mundane problems can be reduced into series of knowledge, and this knowledge can be engineered by artificial intelligence to streamline and improve and provide real-time data to the decision makers. But make no mistake that along the way there is going to be many pitfalls. And that is one of the reasons that you have to make sure that the integrity of knowledge is always being maintained. Because like many organizations where security and compliance are compromised and they have been taken away from us by intruders, then that knowledge can also be faltered, adjusted, and be worked out to their benefits. This can be from banking and financial services to telehealth or legal or any of these aspects of life that you and I collectively work in. So, we really want to tell you something that is extremely important to us. And that is just remembering that the knowledge that you're gathering has to be used for the good of humanity. Your moral responsibility is to deliver that knowledge in the most positive way, not only for the use of humanity, but also to your maker. Because after all, he is the one who's providing you with that source of knowledge. And then put it into good use that it can help humanity and mankind and improve it. With that, you build a greater level of collaboration, greater level of smart cities. But also remember, in the future, you will have a totally different outcome. In my way, the way I see it beyond my digital media room is that you either are connected to a grid where everything is artificially engineered and programmed based on your preference, or you're off the grid, which you really don't want to be because you lose all the advantages of the grid. So that is the trade-off. So when you turn yourself on, you automatically are encountering a world that everything is automated from the time that you wake up, that all of a sudden the coffee machine knows what time, what flavor, what kind of a coffee it needs to make you, to your little robot that is going to come and carry that in the tray and bring you to the bed and wake you up, and obviously drinking your coffee and looking at the news, the information that has been personalized with you from your video wall that is mounted right now as a part of your wallpaper in your house. And as you walk around with your wallpaper is bringing all of this room or information and videos of your collaboration, communication, data with you. So therefore, you can easily move from one area to another area, and then having your agenda already, your self-drive car by Uber is already available based on your appointment schedule that you're supposed to go to meet. So you're sitting in a car and all of a sudden you're driving to the destination where the robots of that office automatically identify you, verify you, validate you, greet you, and then seat you till you meet with the related party. And the related party can sit down and have a video or a meeting or a conference with you, with the other parties that are available in other parts of the world to make a collaborative and concise decisions. This kind of areas where we are talking about is not far from the future. It's actually here. All we are doing is containing and integrating these technologies together, that it brings you from a point of inception to the point of delivery. Now, these processes can obviously afford smart cities, IoEs, where they take those low bit signals and engage them into real-time communication. Because after all, whether we are in education or we are in health or in municipality services or government service or research, we all strive to better and excel ourselves. And AI is just another tool for human to improve its knowledge and skill set and make a moral decision to accommodate and provide a positive output. Thank you for your time.